Across centuries and across cultures, one image keeps appearing. A serpent. Not just any serpent, but one that thinks, teaches, and transforms. In ancient Mesoamerica, this figure was known as Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, a being that seemed to bridge two worlds at once, earth and sky, animal and divine, matter and spirit. Carved into stone temples and preserved in myth, Quetzalcoatl was more than a god. He was a symbol of knowledge, creation, and transformation. A teacher figure, a bringer of civilization, a guide who moved between realms. But when you look closely at these ancient carvings, something stands out. The scales, the eyes, the elongated, almost intelligent form. Now shift forward to the modern world. A very different kind of story begins to take shape. Reports, theories, and cultural narratives describe something else. Something eerily similar. Reptilian beings. Often depicted as humanoid, upright, with scaled skin and highly aware, calculating eyes. Sometimes described as advanced, sometimes as hidden, sometimes as influencing from behind the scenes. At first glance, these two ideas seem completely unrelated. One belongs to ancient myth, the other to modern speculation. But visually, symbolically, the overlap is hard to ignore. On one side, a feathered serpent tied to the sky, representing transformation, rebirth, and higher knowledge. On the other, a reptilian humanoid associated with intelligence, control, and hidden influence. Different stories, different time periods, yet both tap into something deeper. The archetype of the serpent. Throughout human history, the serpent has always carried dual meaning. It represents wisdom and danger, creation and destruction, enlightenment and deception. In some traditions, the serpent is a teacher. In others, a manipulator. Sometimes both at once. Quetzalcoatl, for example, was often seen as a benevolent force, a guide who brought knowledge to humanity, a symbol of renewal and the cycles of life. Modern reptilian interpretations, however, tend to lean in a different direction. They're often framed as hidden influencers, observers operating behind the curtain, figures connected to secrecy, power, and control. So what are we really looking at here? A coincidence? A reinterpretation? Or the same ancient symbol, reshaped through a modern lens? As cultures evolve, the way we tell stories changes. But the underlying symbols often remain. They adapt. They shift. They take on new meanings that reflect the fears, beliefs, and questions of the time. In the ancient world, the unknown was expressed through gods and mythic beings carved in stone. Today, that same sense of mystery often appears through ideas of advanced intelligence, hidden systems, and unseen forces. Different language, same instinct, to try to understand what lies just beyond our reach. Whether these parallels point to something real, or simply reflect the way the human mind builds meaning, is still an open question. But one thing is clear. The image of the serpent has never left us. It has only changed its form. And somewhere between ancient stone and modern imagination, that symbol continues to evolve, inviting us to look a little closer and ask what it might really represent. Thanks for joining us here at Unexplained Places on Earth. Our lead researcher and producer, Marcia Chase, is collecting unusual stories and unexplained places as she finishes the ending of her first novel. If you have a great story to tell or unusual place to add to the list, please send us an email. Thanks for watching.